Okay, this story is about my 400 milligram DXM trip I took a little bit ago. I'm coming down now, but we'll get into that later. So I took these at about, I don't know, like 12 noon, and the type of pills they weren't coated, so they were like rapid release almost. It's like they were really, really chalky. So I took about 400 milligrams of that. And the thing with that is, whenever it's not time released, the trip comes on really, really fast. So after about like 5 minutes, I was already starting to feel something different. It was like I started to hear like a slight static in my ears, and then it got louder and louder and louder. Like, the silence can be deafening. That's the truest thing I've ever heard. I got the usual feelings, like the body. Sometimes I get body heaviness, but the euphoria just started to like kick in a little bit at that point, but it wasn't really at its full hit. But I was just in my room, and just looking around, and my eyes got really, really heavy. I was just getting so tired. And I usually don't get that tired on these types of trips, but this was different. So I just laid down, and I was just like resting with my eyes closed and listening to music. And eventually, I decided I was going to get up. So I got up, and like I immediately felt like it felt like the world was like moving side to side, and I just couldn't it felt like I was drunk. Like I just couldn't keep my balance right. I was just like moving my head back and forth, swaying it and stuff like that. At that point, it was like I was already feeling really, really good. I was feeling very, very euphoric. So I knew this was going to be a good one. I didn't eat anything until later that day. Later, because I didn't want to ruin the trip. But I do drink some water, so just in case just so I can keep my mouth wet, my throat not dry. And sometimes if you think you're going to throw up, it's always better to not dry heave. So you always want to have some water in your stomach. And DXM trips, they last a while for me at least. So I wasn't peaking until like 3 hours in, really. And at that point, like the static sound in my ears was getting louder and louder and louder. It's all I could really focus on. It was like a ringing, like a almost sounds like a phone vibrating, like back and forth, like you know what I mean? And it just kept on getting louder and louder and louder. The visuals were kind of weird. It was like I would like turn my head, and then it's like it would like shake as soon as I turned my head, and it's like I couldn't keep my head steady, so it like appeared like I would just kept on moving my head like this, like I was saying no or something, but I was standing completely still, but I was just like observing my room, and it just seemed like it was going. So I guess I thought that that's what was happening. And at that point, I started to feel a little bit of pressure around my head. I do wear headphones, but I started to feel it like around the crown, or like this part of your head. And that's normal, pretty normal for that stuff. It's invisible hat. I don't know, for some reason I always liked that feeling. I don't really itch on on DXM, but I do on DPH after I come down. I just never get experienced that type of thing yet. But, I was just sitting here, and it's always really, really hard to talk whenever you take a high dose of DXM. Like, it seems like you slur your words a lot, and you can kind of probably hear that picking up in my video right now. But, like, you can try as hard as you can, but, like, you just can't understand the way that, like, your voice sounds to other people, so it's, like, almost oblivious to it. It's crazy. But like your eyes don't really change, at least in my experience. Like nobody ever really notices that I'm high whenever I am. It's pretty easy to hide for me. DXM is just... I hadn't done it in a couple days. I mean, not a couple days, but like I didn't do it last night, I think. And I just did well, no, I did actually, and then I did a dose of DPH. So I guess I did do it last night, but for some reason this just came on really, really strong, as if I didn't do it in a couple days. But I was just liking the feeling, you know, just moving like this, moving with the flow, just feeling really, really comfortable, amazing. I always get this like thing. It's really hard to pee sometimes too. It feels like all your muscles are clenched everywhere whenever you do that stuff. It just like seems like you're always so tense, like almost like it's like an upper or something. Yeah, and you do stumble around like you're drunk a lot. And you do what's called verbal walking, and it's like you do a lot of exaggerated movements and stuff like that. It looks really, really goofy as hell, and like it's pretty much how you get caught. Like people will notice that. As long as you're smart, you don't. Yeah, but I was just... my throat was getting a little tacky, but I knew I was gonna be okay. Yeah, I never really get like that bad of chest pains whenever I'm on DXM, but like whenever I'm on DPH, it's a little bit different, but I still feel it. It's more of like, it feels like a ton of bricks is on my chest whenever I'm on DPH, but whenever I'm on DXM, it just feels like somebody's stretching my pectoral muscles apart just slightly. It's not like so uncomfortable that it hurts, but it's just slightly annoying. I always get all these weird pain things. Sometimes I'll get like a mild headache and then it'll go away. That's pretty much how it goes for any of them. Yeah, it's just so hard to talk on that stuff. So I like to keep it to myself and just like not talk to anybody. Yeah, and it's like whenever you're on that stuff, like it seems like there's like you can't focus on anything. It's like everything's just slightly moving just a little bit. Like there's just a little bit of vibration somewhere. Like everything's just moving like really, really quick, but like for like a small distance. Like it starts to mess with you, and then like you start to feel your blood going through your veins and stuff like that, and like your eyes start to feel drier. But anyways, I was seeing like stuff, and I was like looking at my phone, right? And it was like my phone was like morphing and like changing into different things, and it was like bending and stuff like that. And I was like, wow. I think it was because like I had just came off of a DPH trip, so it was like kind of like the ending of that, and it kind of like brought it back. But like yeah, and it just felt like it was moving in my hand, even though it wasn't. It was really, really weird. But I love to listen to music on it. So like I was listening to some music and I was just chilling and just laid there waiting for things to happen. Eventually started to come down, started to feel a little bit better. And that was pretty much it. Thanks for watching this video, and like, subscribe, comment, join my Reddit, or if you came here from my Reddit, you probably already joined it, but it's r/DPHghosts. And stay healthy, stay smart, and have a good time. See you later.